Hi everyone, welcome to our second Library Cafe. It's me, Saoirse, and my colleague Fiona again.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about our guides and tutorials. So we have a range of different guides that are on the library homepage. We're going to show you how to get there today. And these are fantastic for finding information on your subject area, um, academic information, scholarly information, how to reference, and also how to conduct a successful search. So there are so many different guides and we want to show you them today. We won't go into all of them, but we will go into one of the subject guides so you just can have a look and see what it looks like and what's in there. So I'm going to share my screen again so you're going to be able to see how you locate the guides. So give me 1 second now and yeah, it's working.
Technology, we
I
love it,
know.
don't we,
Every
Saoirse?
time I've done this so many times and I still get it wrong. Right, so I hope everybody can see the library homepage now. So you're going to scroll down and straight away you see guides and tutorials. And just to say, I'm going to be going through the guides and then Fiona is going to go through some of our list online tutorials with you as well. So we're covering those two topics in this week's library chat or library cafe. So you pop in here and you can see kind of the four main tabs looking at you. One thing I will say is if you scroll down, you will see your subject guides here, but I want to show you the tab that brings you to all the guides, just so you can access them all and see what's there first. Because if you just go to the subject guides, you might miss out on the rest. And another thing I want to point out is we have research support. So there's actually guides specifically around research. So your research impact. It's great for postgraduate students who are maybe looking at their thesis. So I will definitely say to pop in there and have a look. But today we're just going to go into the all guides A through Z.
So, Saoirse, you're saying that both the subject guides and any other guides are listed under this A to Z one, is it?
Everything is there. So that's
Brilliant.
why I think it's great to go there first, just to have a look. And then if you want to go to a particular subject guide kind of quickly, you can just scroll down and all the subject guides are there. So as you can see we have a long list of guides. Just to point out a few, there is a guide to help you with academic writing. You have your literature reviews here, a few others. Where is the referencing? We've one on referencing and avoiding plagiarism. And you'll actually find within some of the subject guides, it links you to other guides as well. So it's really helpful. I think there's a referencing tab within the subject guide, which will show you, and that links you in. So there's kind of, what would you say, Fiona? Kind of within the subject guides, it's linking you to other guides within it, like an
Yeah, so there's
inception.
in your subject guide, you're going to have your different tabs. And if it's something that's relevant, like that one there, referencing avoided plagiarism, that'd be relevant to any subject.
Right.
So it's going to be included in it. You know, we kind of just link into other ones that are important.
Which is just helpful because then you'd be going into so yeah, and just successful searching. This shows you how to form a kind of successful searching strategy. So we're going to pop into geography. I'm going to pick geography as my example. So this is the first tab. So you'll just see the tabs at the very top of the screen. And this is getting started. So one thing I will point out, there's a lot of kind of general information here that's really helpful. And within the subject guides, it's specific to the subject, of course. So you're going to see that when we go into some of the other tabs. But here you're going to see the submit a query. So if you want to ask one of our teaching librarians a question regarding an assignment, maybe searching for an article in a journal or a data, you can submit your query here and it goes to our teaching team and they'll be able to then help you with that specific query. So it's a little bit more, what would you say if you want a kind of assignment based, subject based?
Yeah. So it's a bit more specific than your if you're using library chat or library data information. That's kind of general queries, where this is very much geared towards when you get to your writing your assignments, and you know if you feel a bit stuck or you need a bit of help, that's a good place to put your query in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So if you scroll down, there's just more information there. We have linked to our social media, our Twitter, some IT information. So general information in the first tab. Then you can go into books and ebooks. You will see you are then kind of shows you where you can get books within the physical library, the area. And again, it's all going to be kind of related to your particular subject. Just scrolling down here so you can have a look. You are linked then to library search as well here, and it explains how you can, I suppose, interpret that information, whether a book is on loan or it's available. And I'm going to just pop into journals and databases because I think this is really cool. So on the left, you'll see there's actually recommended journals specifically for geography. And then on the right, the databases for geography. So I do find some people are very intimidated by journals and databases, and it's just another way of browsing for information or searching for information, but it's specific to your subject. So there's databases specifically for geography and journals specifically for geography. And a lot of people don't know where to start. You know, if a lecturer says, look, I want you to find a database or a journal, this is where you go. We have the recommended ones. And I just think it's really handy because it is sometimes intimidating knowing what database to look in, you
Oh,
know?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's great just to have it all together, I think, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So I think, and this is updated constantly. You know, there might be another new database after being developed. It's going to go up there. So everything is updated constantly. So again, this is going to just give you more information around journals and databases, what they are, why you may want to use them. Our online resources then you can pop into, it's kind of websites, web-based information, and it goes through the different kinds of sources of information you might want to use. So again, just scroll down once you get into the tab and you can explore the information there. There's always like tips and kind of recommendations and things like that. Tutorials and quizzes. So this is a tab that's linked to our tutorials and quizzes, and Fiona is going to show you a different way that you can get into them. But again, these are linked in your subject guide, so you don't have to always go through that way if you don't want to. It will be within your subject guide. So then we have top tips for students. So some of the tips that we think you should know about, where to get help, again, some information on the different sources. You might get an assignment that asks you to use a book, a journal article, a database, and this is the place to go. This is going to explain why you need to use that information and what it's for. And then lastly, I just want to show you, if we click the referencing tab, it actually brings you to the referencing guide, because obviously the referencing guide is applicable to all the subject guides because you're going to have to reference. So I think this is really handy. You're already in the referencing guide and it goes through avoiding plagiarism, referencing styles. So, you know, if you were doing geography or history, you're going to have to use a specific referencing style. There's examples, tools. So the guides are really handy. You can go back in then, you're back into your subject guide. So I would recommend, first of all, having a look at your subject guide and seeing what's in there appropriate for you, particularly when we're coming up to the study week, because you're going to be getting your first set of assignments, and just it's a great place to start, isn't it, Fiona?
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned study week. Oh, yeah. But this is perfect. I mean, you know, just go straight, dive into your subject guide, have a look around, and like as you're saying there, the referencing that's linked into your subject guide, that's perfect. You know, everything's there in one place, and that's essential. You know, I mean, if you're not going to be on campus for whatever reason, it's all here for
Well,
you.
that's as well. It's all online, it's all available. And the kind of questions we usually get from students, you know, if they are submitting a query, is around the referencing, it's around academic information, finding information. So one thing I would say is start with your subject guide and then
Yeah,
go and explore the rest of the guides, you know, because they are going to be applicable to your assignments. Specifically for first year students, if things seem a little bit overwhelming, all of the information is there. It really is. And you can contact us if you want to look in these guides and then you want to kind of ask further questions, you can contact us through that query form. So it's
yeah,
really important to know where these guides are and then also how to use them. So I am going to unshare my screen and Fiona is going to show you where some of our interactive and online tutorials are. So I'll pop back in here and then unshare my screen. Over to you,
perfect.
Fiona.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to start sharing mine. And
The nerves before sharing the screen. It's like, will it work?
it's 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 a challenge every day, isn't it, really? So we basically said we're doing the same thing as yourself, really going from our our library website page. Again, we're going into our guides and tutorials. And we're actually going to go under learning resources for list, okay?
Yeah.
So when I click on this, you'll see two different ones. You've got list and list online. So for ourselves, for students, it's going to be list online that we want to have a look at, okay? So for any new students who've never heard of what is list, it's our library and information skills tutorials. So normally around this time when we're on campus, we'd be delivering these 30-minute free sessions, kind of like how to search for books in the library, how to find information, just useful things that we would deliver face-to-face to our students. So obviously we're not on campus at the moment, but what we have done is kind of taken the main bits of information that we would have shared face-to-face and created little online tutorials around them. So this is the page that you'll see. So you can see we've got things like finding items on your reading list. So that's kind of like a video. And it basically
Really
just
handy.
goes through about finding items on your reading list, you know, and how you would do that. Now, I will say that some of these are a little older. So when you go in, you might say, well, my screen doesn't look exactly like that. Don't worry. The method behind it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
So they're still relevant, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you'll see here, Saoirse, I've got this one, avoiding plagiarism. And when you hover over it, it kind of tells you what that tutorial is going to, you know, go through and what it's going to show. These ones actually have little quizzes in them as well, so you can test yourself.
And you can do that as many times as you like, because I think people are always afraid to do the quiz and then they're like, oh, I'll have that, you know, grade or whatever forever now. But you can do that as many times as you need to.
Absolutely. And the great thing about them is that these are available 24/7 at home. And you know, sometimes it's a bit easier to kind of do it in your own time. You know, you can stop
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
pause it whenever you want to. You've got sourcing and evaluating information. Here's another one. What is research? You mentioned the research guides. What is research? I've never had to use this before. This is completely new to me. So this is great. Just go in and have a look around. And another one, exam papers. We won't go into that one just yet. We'll get
Not
to
yet. Hold
study
on.
week first. But these are all available. Again, we've got an email which is specific for list online. If you know there's something you wanted to ask about that you saw in one of the tutorials, or if there's something else that you suggest, would you not be able to maybe do a video on this because I'm struggling with that?
Yeah.
You know, and to say that, Saoirse, you know, what we're doing at the moment is we're trying to update our online tutorials at the moment, but where you'll find those is in our YouTube channel. So I'm just going to pop back to our main library page and just scroll down here on our Connect with Us panel on the left hand side. We have our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And that's where we're putting up-to-date information from this semester. So we'd say to students, you know, have a look there. It's going to be new, relevant information that will be there.
And as you said, Fiona, some of the videos that are there now at the minute, they might be a little bit dated, but the method is the same. And we have a lot of different kinds of tutorials and videos on our YouTube page. So we do encourage you to explore that and have a look, because there might be something there that does answer your questions, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So have a look. So again, I mean, you've kind of given the key one there from our library. It's guides and tutorials. It's that one there that you need to go into. And as you said, go into the A to Z to find all the guides, or the list online is just under learning resources.
Absolutely.
So
And the last thing I would say is you have your guides and you have your tutorials, and they cover similar topics. So it's just providing you with different kind of information. You might find the tutorial suit you better to listen to and then to do the quiz, or you might find exploring the guide itself the best way to find the information you're looking for.
yeah,
So
I'll
is
stop
that
sharing here.
it? That is everything from our second library cafe. We went through our guides, all the different kinds of guides. If you actually want us to, help you out, and if you've any questions about a specific guide, we can do that. We can expand our information on that. But yeah, that's everything. That's our guides, that's our tutorials. And again, if you've any questions, DM our Instagram page, and we'll see you next week. Saying that, it's not actually us next week, it's our colleagues Frank and Rachel, and they're going to be going through some really great support, and more information. So yeah, that's all for now.
That's us.
Thanks everyone.
Grant. See you.
Bye.
Bye.